Hey, you guys! Welcome along to the final Mackem football show of the 22-23 campaign. Howdy, howdy, everyone. We have with me, you can see when they talk just below, we have Paul Wilson from RWA.
Good evening.
And good evening. And we have Jacob Aviard, aka Yorkshire Mackem from Yorkshire. How you doing,
Good
mate?
evening. Good evening. I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, should we get the elephant out of the room with this this show? We are not going to Wembley. Yeah,
Cancel your train tickets
and your hotel. GS edits, hello, and Northeast Charlie, hello. Welcome along to the stream. Yes, so losing 2-0 away from home, Kenilworth Road, second leg. What were your thoughts on the game as a whole?
Kind of just madness. Like, I just didn't. I didn't think we'd do that. I was thinking it was going to be a 1-1 draw, and then I was thinking us and Coventry at Wembley. But
I'm on the similar ilk to you there, mate. I was genuinely quite confident that we'd be able to do the job because all we needed to do was not concede. But don't forget you, Acacia. Hello, welcome along, saying oi oi lads. All we needed to do was not concede, and we conceded exactly the same way that we knew we were going to, if we're ever going to let a goal in. And that kind of killed the mood. What was it, 11 minutes into the game? They get a corner and it's pinging around and it just ends up in the back of the net yet again because we haven't got the height of strength to defend from corners, which is, to be fair, a game plan that Luton were very aware of. It worked well in the first leg for them to go ahead, and they just needed to defend better at home. And let's face it, Luton Town played this game very, very smartly and deserved to go to Wembley, which is a little bit begrudging from myself to say, but if you look at the season overall as well, they deserved a little bit more than us. We did chase it towards the end of the normal campaign, try to get into the playoffs. We reach it, and I don't know. I don't think we did our club. The players did too much. That was like egregiously bad. Like, at least we're not done a Peterborough or a Middlesbrough in these playoff finals where you concede. Well, Middlesbrough didn't score a single goal in their playoffs. So what was the point of them making it? Do you know what I mean? Like, at least we put in an effort and we tried. That's all we could really ask for. If the quality at Luton is that step above Sunderland and where we're at right now, and we've got a lot of good excuses to use and use in the back pocket, but ultimately the better team won and is in the Wembley final now, and I think that's where it's at. Paul, what's your reaction while I just catch up on the comments from GS, Keisha, and North?
I actually have to agree with you. Actually, the way it's at the end of the game, I actually said to Bowers,
that's Michael Bowers, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, he's another Sunderland YouTuber. Yeah, check his channel out as well.
Bowers.
He's my brother from another
mother. Give him a subscribe, everyone.
Yeah, I actually said to Michael at the end of the game, do I actually feel upset? Like the way the season's been, or do I be happy? And I said to Michael,
please say before you finish your sentence. Please say you said, "At least we're not Wigan. At least we're not Wigan."
Yes, I did shout that.
What did you actually say?
I actually said to Boris, I'm actually happy the way the season has been. Unfortunately, to actually lose the second leg, but I am actually happy the way the season's been.
As a whole, mate, I don't think anybody going into the season would have confidently said, confidently said, without a shadow of a doubt, Sunderland are making the playoffs or pushing for promotion towards the end of the season. That just wasn't in people's cards. GH Patty Robbo said the Sheffield Wednesday game was class. The first leg, not so much for them, but the second leg got a little bit of Fergie time, I think, at the end of it. The game on Tuesday night was absolutely terrible, says Acacia. I don't think it was that bad. Like, I think it was just a case of our players becoming just the fatigue catching up with them and getting outsmarted, I guess, by the game plan of Luton. I don't think it was as, like, don't get me wrong, we didn't attack as clear and as free-flowing as we're used to over this season, but towards the last, like, 20 minutes, we started to pick up and go, well, we might as well try, but I think that was 20 minutes too little too late. If we did that from minute one, we would potentially be in the final, but that's the way of life. That's the way life happens sometimes, right? With these two games in mind, boys, who was your standout player from those two legs, and what's the key moment that changed it all?
Well, standout player in the home game, I'd say, as in like Ekwa. He was good in the home game, and with that home game, Luton's goal was their first shot on target. That was their first shot, and they had a little spell where they were the better team at one point, and we struggled to get past them. But for most of that game, we were the better team.
Yeah.
You know, and then we go down to Kenilworth Road, and then it's like an oxymoron. It's like it's gone the other way around. I can't remember any standout player for Luton away. I mean, Patterson made a few. There were some good saves he made, but apart from that, I don't think there was any player that stood out in Kenilworth Road. You know, just not a great day, to be honest. But
to be fair to you, mate,
the season.
No, not at all.
But it's been a good season overall. If you know, because of our first season back in the Championship and to get where we've got, we've got to give credit to the lads in Mowbray. You know, it's been good.
It's been a good season. I think we'll go deeper into our season as a whole, because this is the final Mackem football show for this campaign. We'll go through the season as a whole, but we'll focus on the two playoff games first, and potentially the last couple of playoff push games as well, if we want to extend it out into that unbeaten run. Because we did have a 10-game unbeaten run towards the end to get to potentially 90 minutes away from the Wembley final. But Craig Scott in the chat has perfectly summed it up. In that second game, Luton bullied us the whole game and we couldn't cope with it. It's sometimes that simple. Like the physicality from the Luton players.
Yeah, physical side, and the pitch made them more direct. Of course, they've played there since they were founded, but it just made it easy for them, didn't it? It made them direct and just outplay us. And to be fair, you wouldn't expect Sunderland to lose to Luton, but because of how they've been this season, Luton, they've been unstoppable, really. I mean, they've had some good seasons in the past recent years. They've done ever so well to get to where they are. You know,
I think that's a little bit unfair, because they have been consistently solid performers over the last 2.5 seasons. Last year they got to the semi-finals. This year they're into the final. If they don't make it to the Premier League this season, I think they will be here or hereabouts again next year. There's no real reason why that can't happen for this current squad. They are maturing. The only thing I can think that would get them caught out is because everybody knows they have narrowed their pitch to like the minimum width, so they have to go through the middle of the park, and teams like us who like to play wide struggle at Kenilworth Road because we are pushed in and we can't drag the players away from their box. Like you could literally lie two players down, and then you could touch the sideline to that 18-yard box. It's that narrow, but it's not like it was completely unknown. They've had that for the entire season. I just think tactically on the day, Luton played it a lot smarter than us, and we've had a couple of extra people pop into the chat. So I'll quickly call out Elliot Alderson. Welcome along. Nice to see your name again. Paul Mellish, evening. And Acacia is popped in a couple as well. So I'll throw that question to Paul, and I will pick out points from what's been said in the chat to ask you more questions. Paul? Standout player? And key moment?
For me, I'm going to say key player at home, I'm going to say Diallo.
Okay. With his first goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would
Paul Mellish has chipped in and said Pritchard as well, though, who did lay up that free kick for.
Yeah.
So, bit of an unsung hero. Great influence on Jack Clark, Ahmad, and Patrick Roberts. So the maturity of Pritchard coming really key in that first leg is what Paul's saying there, I think.
But I would say actually our fans actually won us the actual first leg, and with the second leg, I would say actually their fans actually won that for them, to be honest.
Okay. I don't think fans have a major say in the performance that's put on the pitch. I think it does help when you make a good slide tackle or you have a shot and like the fans getting cheering you on because you get that confidence boost. But the impact on the pitch, I think our fans did our team a good service on that final day. Like there was many times when we're doing the live stream and all you could hear, even though we're 2-0 behind, is our fans cheering on the lads. I think they had the more right to be happier at that moment, but it's one of those things like sometimes the fans get a little bit too nervous. And you could tell that around like the 80 to 85 minute mark for Luton when we were on the like constant cosh when they were under the cosh with us. But after that 5-minute spell, they realised we're not going to break through. It kind of swung back in their favour. So fans is a good shout, but I don't think it had that much say in the game. I think it's just, again, poor set piece defending, to be honest. Yeah, that's it. That's disappointing. So obviously, we don't make it to Wembley. Luton Town do. I will quickly go over the Cov Middlesbrough legs. Did you two watch any of those at all?
No.
Nope.
Well, you didn't miss out on much.
It's Middlesbrough, so you know.
So, do you know how you think like us, Luton and Sunderland are two different teams with completely different styles that balance each other out throughout the season with 1-1 draws, and just it's exactly the same for Coventry and Middlesbrough, but they don't have different styles. They have the exact same style of football. Wait for the other team to put too much pressure on, counter attack, and score a goal. That happened once in that entire game where it was effective, and that was like the 55 to 60 minute mark for Coventry. Gyökeres, again being an absolute beast, gets the keeper drawn out, and it lands very nicely for the Coventry man to do a Diallo-esque finish, to be honest, around like two defenders, but an on-rushing keeper. So the fact that that game was only split by one goal that's pretty much the only moment that really mattered in those two legs, to be fair. Middlesbrough not scoring, I think, is a disservice to how well they've performed overall this season. I think they're the second highest top scorers this season, and the fact that Coventry have defended so well against them over 180 minutes proves to me that Coventry and Luton game in a week and a half's time is going to be quite an entertaining one, because I don't think the defensive style for either of them is going to be enough for them to get to the Premier League, but it will be enough for them if they wanted to stay in the Premier League. So, what are your thoughts on that? Who do you think is going to win, Luton or Coventry? Please see confirmation.
2-1 Coventry.
2-1 Coventry.
2-1.
So you think Cov's going to the Premier League next season?
Yeah.
What about you, Paul?
2-0 Coventry.
So all of that hard work for Luton to make it to the final is going to count for nothing, essentially, for both of you?
Not that. I still think it'd be a good game between both, but I think Coventry might just edge it. I know they didn't do much against Borough, but I just think, I mean, it's two physical sides in it, so it should be a good game, to be fair. But
who do you think will be able to? Who do you think will be able to stand up to the pressure of being in that? Was it £125 million game? Not directly from winning the playoffs, but like from the television rights in the next season going up. Who do you think's like? Who do you think's got the calm and nerves out of those two teams?
Well,
Case has gone 3-0 as well.
For Luton, it's just down the road, isn't it? Wembley, it's literally walking distance. So for them, it could be a bit of a fun day out. But
mate, you can't say it. You can't say. You were about to say it, and I don't think you can say that. Like, it's not like a home tie. Their home ground is like, it's like a Sunday League team playing around the corner from the Stadium of Light. Playing at Southwick FC is not the same as playing at the Stadium of Light. It's just not. But yeah, a lot of people. So Paul's saying Luton, big physical team, dirty with a crap entrance to the stadium. Craig saying Cov win. Luton style wouldn't suit them on the big Wembley pitch, which I think is actually a really good point. Like I said, Kenilworth Road is very narrow, and
it was the same with Wickham last season. I don't think Wickham. When we played Wickham at the Wembley, I don't think Wickham could cope with the pitch size. I think it would have been. It was hard for them to hoof the ball at Wembley. You know, so it's. But of course, Luton don't do hoof the ball. You know, but it's. Get the idea. It's like. Teams who have smaller pitches who are playing at Wembley, it's going to be harder for them, isn't it?
I'm going to be, I think it is that, mate, but I think I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I'm going to say this game's going to go to penalties. So,
who's going to win?
On penalties, I think it's Luton. On penalties, it's Luton. If it's in open play, I think it is Cov, like, because of that bigger pitch element. I think Coventry are very physical. They do like to go down the wing, but they also can invite teams on. So if they invite Luton on too much, it might be their downfall. But Elliot with a really nice comment there. Could you imagine Haaland at Kenilworth Road? That's just going to be bizarre.
It's Luton Town in the Champions League. Fucking hell, Barcelona fans in the away end. Could you imagine that?
Well, Brighton are in the top half of the Premier League. I didn't think anybody would have said that when Sunderland went down. So things change. It's a different era of football, isn't it? But Elliot says Luton going up would be pointless. Need to spend 10 million plus on their stadium alone and then buy players on top. They'll go straight back down.
They are getting a new stadium. They are getting a new one, but I'm not sure if it's good for this season. But yeah, they are getting one. But yeah, I'd say at least the pitch, though, if they can't get the new stadium at the minute.
Yeah. Do you agree with this end, the tail point of Elliot's statement there? Can't imagine they'll get too many TV games either. See, I think it's the polar opposite. I think they'll get a lot more because there's a lot more interest in how big teams will play at this tiny stadium.
Yeah, just say Luton Town in the Prem. Yeah, and we can't doubt them because you never know, they could do a Fulham or a Brentford. You know what I mean? That's how amazing football is. You just don't know what's going to happen.
See, if it was Cov to go up, I think they will finally sort out all of their stadium issues and just buy the stadium for the club, because most of their issues over the last decade and a half has been because they moved stadium. They leased it rather than building it themselves. Then it went out to the rugby team, and it's just been like the entire Rico side of it. The Wasps, the last decade of them sorting out their stadium. Even this season, at the start of the season, that they skipped 6 home games in a row, so they were behind on everybody, and they were in the bottom 3 for ages until they started to play their home games. So
Yeah.
I think
about it. This fixture, Luton and Coventry, 5 years ago, it was a League Two fixture, and now look at it. It's just crazy how things have changed.
It's a big money game for both of these two teams, and I think if we're going to look at it from a different standpoint, which team would you like to play against next season? That for me is the bigger question.
For the Championship.
Yeah. Bear in mind, this season we picked up 2 1-1 draws against Luton, a 1-1 draw against Cov, and then a 2-1 loss. So, no, we picked up 1 point against Cov at the start of the stadium, at the start of the season, because we were their first game.
Yeah, crazy game. I kind of want Coventry to go up because they're a bit of a bogey team for Sunderland. So maybe Luton again to play next season. Get revenge on them.
There's also the other point. Out of the 4 teams that are in the playoffs now, obviously 3 of them will still be in the Championship next season. Who do you think is likely to be in that push again if they are to stay in this league? So, first and foremost, do you think Sunderland and Middlesbrough will be in a playoff push again, or higher, or Coventry or Luton as well?
I think Sunderland will. I might be being biased here when saying this. Maybe not Borough. They might drop a bit. Not a lot though, but I think Luton and Coventry. It wouldn't surprise me if Luton are back there again. But I'm not going to doubt Middlesbrough. It wouldn't surprise me. It'd be funny if it's Sunderland, Borough in the semis and Cov and Luton in the semis. You know, a bit of that'd be kind of fun.
There's a couple of dark horses in this league that have had poor seasons this season, which I think could also bring us up to the final game of the season. So Blackburn Rovers again, Millwall, as long as they can sort out how Watford, Norwich. Yeah, there's loads of teams in this league that I think are or do have the potential to have the quality in their current squad to push for playoffs next season. It's just sometimes the rub of the green, sometimes the officials, sometimes just things don't go your way, and yeah, it's going to be interesting for next season. If to put the first question to me, back to me, I'd say I'd much prefer to have Luton for the consistency. I think we would still pick up another 2 points against them next year, which would again guarantee us more stability. Like if you took these 2 legs, we would have picked up more points in these legs than we did in the league games against them. So I like that. I don't think it's a bad shout. Evening Cabby, finale gamer. I'm not saying your full username because that's way too long. Up the Football League. When we go, we win the league. This is what we're time for. Luton, we're Super Luton Town. We've got a Luton Town fan in here. What's up, Hatters? Hello. What's up? Sorry. What's up? Brad's coming in clutch here, by the way, giving us an update on the League 2 second leg between Barnsley and Bolton. Barnsley are leading that one as we speak. The game is still ongoing, but I think there's about half an hour left in the second leg, and it looks like Barnsley are going to Wembley against Sheffield Wednesday as well for the League 1 playoffs. So we can talk about that one very quickly if you want. Who would you prefer? Bear in mind, if Bolton score, it could be Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley, or Bolton. But who would you out of those teams want to come up to play next season?
Maybe Barnsley. Quite like Barnsley.
Is that close to you?
Yeah. Quite well. Wednesday is as well, so you know, it'd be nice to try and get an away. Well, for an away day, Sunderland away day, to go maybe watch.
Do you know? I'm going to be very selfish here, and I'm going to say anybody but Sheffield Wednesday because I'm sick of going to sick of seeing Sheffield teams in our league. We can't escape one of them. We've had the Blades, we've had Wednesday, we've had the Blades, then we've had Wednesday for 4 seasons, then we've had the Blades again. It's like just leave us alone, Sheffield. It's like when we were it's like Bristol City and Bristol Rovers. Like we couldn't get away from one of the Bristol teams. It just give us a year without that kind of mess. Morning, boys in blue. Welcome along. I'd love to watch a game for the Yorkshire Derby. Wednesday, I'll be back in the whole way. That's a weird thing for a Blades fan to say, though, right? Come on, Keisha.
Well, Barnsley's a derby for Sheffield United as well. That's another Yorkshire derby as well, because so if it were them two in the final, you'd be like, no, fuck them both. But one of them's got to win.
Okay, fair enough. It's 61 minutes on that game, by the way. 62 now. So it looks more likely Barnsley and Sheffield Wednesday. I think Sheffield Wednesday are the better of all the teams in that League One playoff this season. So the fight back against Peterborough is just case in point, really, on that. So, yeah, I think Sheffield Wednesday are most likely to, when under the cosh, perform. So I think Sheffield Wednesday will join us in from League One into the Championship. What are your thoughts, Paul?
For me, I actually want Barnsley to actually come up.
When was the last time Barnsley win the Championship? Oh, nice to hear, Stephen. When was the last time do we have that to hand? Drip Leafy, welcome along. Maybe next season we can go up. Just need to wait to win who wins League One playoffs. So there's a couple of teams that there's obviously a lot of teams that are changing this season. I think League One has the most change with 7 teams going in and out of the league. We have 6 in the Championship, obviously. The 3 teams coming down, you've got the potential of Nottingham Forest. I don't think that's likely to happen. Then it's a toss-up between Everton, Leeds and Leicester, and Southampton are already relegated. So the Premier League teams, I think, Everton, I think, will be absolutely fine in this league. Leeds, I'm not 100% sure because they'll have Gelhardt back. They'll not want to loan him out again, and he has had championship experience and might kick on with his actual parent club who's developed him. Everton, I think we've relied on a lot of their players this season. Anderson coming from them. You've got Sims who went back to them. I think there's a lot of quality in those teams. Southampton, I'm not 100% sure will actually have a decent season when they come down, but there's 2 other teams that should be pushing for automatics or pushing for the playoffs that we've got to compete with again. So, with the Premier League teams coming down, the couple of teams that are coming up, which realistically, statistically, they should be finishing in the bottom half, regardless of where they are. So, which is, again, why Sunderland have had a brilliant season.
Interesting with Southampton because they're looking for a new manager, and by reports today, it looks like that could be Russell Morton next week.
Okay, that's quick. That's a quick turnaround. I didn't realise they were already in the Championship. Sorry.
Russell Martin. Who was he at before?
Russell Morton's currently at Swansea.
Oh, yes. Okay, they're not going to do great then. Swansea this season have been so hit and miss. It's unreal. Swansea are a team that are definitely mid-championship level. They don't deserve to be in the relegation fodder. They don't deserve to be pushing for the playoffs with their current setup, at least. So I think they'll pretty much hover where they are this season. Keisha says, I'll definitely be going to Leeds away if they get relegated. I want Leicester to come down if they don't take Patterson, if they're still interested. I don't think we'll sell Patterson to another Championship team. If a Premier League team is interested in them, I think Patterson would be daft not to go. But well, you can see how he came from League One to the Championship and how well we've performed with him. Like, he's got no real reason to leave us other than big money, so, or career ambition. Yeah, no. Do you think our consistency will continue into next season? And this is bringing back a couple of points in the chat as well. So transfers, the Tony Mowbray thing, Mogga staying with us. Yeah, do you want to delve into that a little bit, Jacob?
I'd like to. Yeah, I'm hoping we can keep a lot of our players because they've all been good really this season, and I'm hoping we can get some new good signings as well because we know Diallo's going back, and I mean we could get him on loan, but I think you never know. Man United might want to play him more now, because they've probably seen how he's done at Sunderland. They might want to play more in the Prem, so we might have to. I'd want to get some new strikers, to be fair, because I have a bad feeling we might not get Diallo back, to be honest. But
okay,
yeah, and I'm hoping we can. I'm hoping we can improve on set pieces as well. Have a better home record, and
sure.
Maybe go for what we've done this season. Top half.
Yeah, me too, mate. There's a lot of rumours around Joe Bellingham coming from Birmingham City. Birmingham City, a team again that are just, they never seem to go down, but they never seem to have a good time. They've been in the Championship for, this will be their 13th season. They've just settled into this mediocrity and acceptability in this league. So anybody who's at Birmingham City now, the likes of Bellingham, the likes of Chong, will look for clubs that are more ambitious. I think they're just getting their seasons on record now at the bit. Championship is going to have some big teams next season. Yeah, so there is too many teams to consider, like, when we're competing against them. There's the likes of Timur Pukki, who's now left Norwich again. There's a striker that I think should be competing for top-level Championship teams, or even to a slightly lesser degree, decently performing Premiership teams. Not in the relegation fodder teams, but in that upper bracket, I guess. And yeah, there's a couple of players, there's a couple of positions I think we need to strengthen in. Like, I think everybody is blatantly, obviously, screaming out for more strikers. Having the only option of Gelhardt for the last third of the season wasn't ideal. We were heavily reliant on Sims and Stewart being fit and not getting recalled, and I just think we've played fantastically since obviously having those injuries and midfielders stepping up to the plate. But we've been forced into a play style that may not necessarily been our go-to when coming up with our squad. So again, that's another point for discussion from people in the chat. If you want to have your say on how well our midfielders have stepped up to the plate, but defensively as well. I'm a little disappointed that Joe Anderson hasn't broke into the first team as quickly as I expected, because we got him in the January transfer window from Everton. He is a centre-back, essentially, but we only ever brought him on late in games after the likes of Luke O'Nien or Dan Neil, or who else is at the back and getting subbed off a lot. But Sturken. Those kind of players were tiring in games and exerting too much energy. So there's the positions I think we should focus on. Midfielders, where Bellingham essentially is another one in the mix, is good to have. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a potential good quality. If he's anything like his brother, it's going to be a good signing. But yeah, defenders, centre-backs, having options for consistent injury-prone areas in the pitch, I think, is a bigger priority for me. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, it's the same here. But we talked about this last night, Anthony.
Yeah.
What do you think the club should do with Niall Huggins? Because
As
at the
in,
moment, Huggins is injury prone, so will Tony Mowbray, I think we got Huggins from Leeds, I think.
when do we get him?
Huggins has been with us for a while, but he's been out injured.
Yeah, I'm just googling his transfer market stats. 22-year-old Welsh national. Yeah.
Will Tony Mowbray play him a lot, or see what he's like in pre-season with the games we've got coming up, and then possibly loan him out, and then see what he's like.
That is really poor attendance for him this season, isn't it? He's played collectively 8 games, but those 8 games are spread across. Why is it adverts on this bloody page, man? Just chill out. He's played Premier League 2 games, so he's played a lot for our under 23s, I think that is, or under 21s. He's played 45 minutes in an FA Cup tie. He's played a full 90 minutes in 1 championship game and 22 minutes over 2 legs in the playoffs. For me, I think that's just an indication that he is not in favour. He's a backup choice, so I'd send him out on loan if we want to keep him, but otherwise I'd sell him on to where he's going to be more likely have a career that he thinks he deserves, because nobody wants to be a professional footballer to just sit on a bench for the entire season, right? Sorry, Paul, you've gone quiet there.
Yeah, you might have to bring Brad in. He's just trying to call me.
He's got invites to this like 6 times. Just if he clicks on my messages, go into the invite, and he should be able to join. Dov's here. Hello, Dov.
Hello.
Hello.
I think he's been there for a while.
Hello.
Yeah, I've been there for a while.
20 minutes.
Oh wow. Got the link. Yeah, he's definitely got the link. He just needs to join, and then I can add him to the room.
Easy.
There you go. I'll send him another direct link. There you go. He should be able to join into the chats at least. Yeah, interesting. Dov, what's your take then? Welcome along.
Hello.
Hello. What's your take?
Hello.
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 So as for the Sunderland match, I only watched about the first 40 minutes because then my internet kept messing up and I couldn't watch, which was really sad. I think the end result was a bit disappointing, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
I definitely think you should have made finals. But is what it is. I'm expecting Coventry to go up. I don't really know why. I just think overall, I think put them and Luton in a ring, and I think Coventry will probably come out victorious.
Coventry Premier League bound. It's not an uncommon thought on this thread so far, mate.
Yeah. As for teams you'll be facing next week, no, not next week, next season.
Next season.
I would probably say Southampton, Leicester, and Leeds are probably going to come down.
Leicester and Leeds. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping for Everton, to be honest, but
I'm hoping for Everton, but I don't see it happening, unfortunately.
Well, actually, we could have a new song. At least we're not Everton. At least we're not Everton.
As a Liverpool supporter, I want Everton to go down, but I sadly don't see it happening.
Nah, Sean Dyche will keep them up. Good old Sean.
As for your placement next season, I would expect you to get top 3.
Okay. I'm liking that. Top 3 is a step up from where we're at this season, which would ironically replicate exactly what Luton did last year. So they finished 5th or 6th, and they finished 3rd this season. So it is that this season for Sunderland, I think, is a barometer of where our success can be in this league. And yeah, I've just quickly changed a quick stat onto the side here, which is the league top scorers. There's a couple of interesting names there. The likes of Perrault at Swansea, Ndiaye at Sheffield United, who will stay there, by the way. Berrenton Diaz for Blackburn, Yates from Blackpool, and who's another one? Sargent from Norwich. Those kind of players, I think, are a good key target to have for our... Sorry, this earphone just makes my voice sound really weird. Those are the kind of players I think we should be going in for because, one, they're proven scorers in the Championship, but two, they're at teams that are frustrating them and underperforming to where their quality is clearly at in this league. So, yeah. What's your thoughts? If we're looking at transfers and players coming in and out, GSS has also asked if we do go for Bellingham, does that completely rule out us looking at making the move for Edward Michu as well full time? Because he's proven himself at our club as somebody who wants to don the shirt. He had a struggling first 2 months or so, but after the World Cup, he's been integral to our success. I think him, Ahmad, Pritchard, Clark, Roberts, literally everybody who stepped up as soon as Stuart got injured. He's in that bracket of players who you want to keep, right? So there's a gamble to have with getting players who have potential and getting players who've already proven themselves. So that's a strange point, but should we answer GS's question then? If we do go for Bellingham, are we getting Michu as well? I'll ask that to Paul.
I'm not sure on that one, to be honest, because I know the Echo actually was asked. Phil Smith actually did ask say something on that, but I can't remember what he said. But I don't know if we'll get Michu as well because the club hasn't even agreed the deal with PSG.
No, well, they kind of did because basically it was if you played a certain amount of games, we have a buy option at the end of it. So I think he played over the 20 games that was in that clause, supposedly. This is rumour, by the way. It's not like I haven't seen the contract. But that buy-on clause, I think, was definitely activated. So that purchase clause, sorry.
Yeah, but apparently...
Is it too much?
Asked somebody in the club if it's been agreed, and apparently they've been told that we haven't even spoke to PSG about buying Edward Michu yet.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I will definitely do a video come the end of the transfer window of the ins and outs of Sunderland and how that potentially has influence or has a big sway on our season.
As far as I'm aware, as Bellingham, we have agreed 3 million with Birmingham. The
Birmingham one is like I said with these top scorers in the league, it is those players who are frustrated with other Championship teams that are basically just steady in the Championship and don't have that drive or ambition to do what Sunderland's done this season or what Middlesbrough's done this season and push on above what they're expected to do. Like, Bellingham will be seeing Sunderland and Sunderland's story over the last 18 months or so, rather than our story down from the Prem to League One. He'll be seeing the other side of it. Look where they're heading now. The momentum is up the roller coaster, not down again. So, yeah, Bellingham, if he does come to us, I think is a good snipe from another team in this Championship. But would you not want people from the relegated Premier League teams who they're trying to offload, but not necessarily take on as big as debt as they have? So, if somebody's on a 30 grand a week wage, they come out of the Premier League, offer them 10 grand instead of their 30 grand, but first team football, like there's a nice balance to have there, but it's just rumours and names, right? It's more for me, I think, positions that we need to fill and have backups for our desired play style, because I don't rate the current formation as a long-term successful thing for clubs. The 4-2-3-1 formation where you play a back four with wing backs who burst up the wing, it creates too much gaps at the back and has leaky defensive implications. So,
see, for me,
yeah.
I'm actually basically waiting for the actually retained list to actually come out. Then we know who, basically who's actually been given a new deal and all that. Because all I know, that Carl Winchester has actually said goodbye.
That's not a surprise, though, mate. Like, he hasn't played a lot of football recently, has he? Not for us.
No.
Not for the first team. Like, he hasn't been with a shout. Like, there's so many players, the likes of Luke O'Nine, who is clearly not a centre back, has gone above other people who are natural to that position. Anderson is another one that I think should start getting first team football. Like, it's just, I don't know, putting a band-aid over a bigger issue. Here's a question for Jacob then. Ross Stewart, this is probably one of the biggest questions. Ross Stewart goes out of contract at the end of next month. 1, would you keep him on and sign him? And 2, why don't we think we've put pen to paper on that yet?
1, yes, keep him, because he's been good this season, and and 2, it's, I don't know, it's just because when you think of it, it'd be feeling like another Mazza thing, won't it? Or sign the contract, and he's not done it yet.
Does it
not worry
it's...
that he might be wanting to go to a club? He might want to be a money grabber. He's not signed the contract yet. Does that ever worry you? Like,
yes. So you said Mazza there. I'm saying he reminds me a lot of Stephen Fletcher. I think it's purely about money now. Like, he clearly enjoys, when he's fit, playing for our club, and we enjoy his style of football. Like, he's a target man. He's a ruthless finisher. Unfortunate, Dov hasn't had a lot of experience of watching his football, but like, it is purely about the money for him signing a contract now. And if he doesn't put pen to paper soon, I'm okay with him leaving. I know it's not the ideal, but we are in the market for strikers already. Why not start from fresh? If Ross Stewart's going to be fit and ready for the start of the next campaign, fantastic. Love to see it. But if he's not, let's get 2 or 3 named new strikers who are possibly on this list that want to play for a club that has ambition to get back to the Prem. It's just, that for me is as simple as it gets. What about you, Paul?
Yeah, it's the same here. Sorry about that. I was just answering Brad because he's having trouble connecting apparently.
I'll phone him independently after this and teach him how to get on for the next one. So we'll sort that out after this. This has got another like 10 minutes left of runtime, so it might be a bit too late to catch up on that as well. So yeah, GS says for Mishu, it was 2.5 million if we stayed in the Championship and 5 mil if we went up to the Premier League. Apparently, again, nobody's actually seen the contract, but that was what the rumor mill is for Mishu's buy clause. 2.5 million. I think we've potentially earned that back in TV rights this year, right? So would that be a viable long-term purchase, or is Bellingham a better option? Good feel for you, Dov. Good feel.
I mean, how much are you going to be getting Bellingham for if you do get him?
30 million.
Is it Is
3
it that
million.
much?
13
much?
million? There's no way.
Paul, did you
Apparently,
say 13?
Sky said apparently supposed to be 3 million. Supposed to be
Yeah,
getting
his market value's 3.9.
Yeah, 3 million sounds a bit right. 13 sounds like
Yeah, I think for 3 million, I'd take him for 3 million.
I don't
Yeah.
think some Premier League players are worth
How old?
13 million.
How old is he?
Like
He's
21,
17, right? So he's fairly young.
is he?
Yeah, he's born in 2005. Fucking hell, he's young. Jesus Christ.
Is he a year younger than me? Fucking hell.
But
In that case, he's young, he's fit, his
fits into
brother's
the
doing
plan.
wonders. So if he's anything like his brother, he's gonna be fucking.
Well, Troy
Huge.
Deeney said that he's a monster. He's Bellingham. He's a lot like his brother. That's what Troy Deeney
Yeah.
said. And if Troy Deeney's saying that, then fucking hell.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I actually rate that comment. You know, I'd much rather have some big physical names in our go-to roster. I guess the likes of Bath Ballards, like the big, strong defenders and hard to push over players. I think is what we've missed quite a bit this season. So that will definitely keep us a bit more tighter. And have a much better goal difference next season if we do manage to pull that off.
He can also play midfielder and a forward, so he's also very viable for your current squad as well, because you're in the market for strikers. So technically, he could play striker if you need him to.
Is it Job or Jode?
Job.
It's Job. He's played
Job with
22 games, and for a 17-year-old to play 22 games, that's impressive. He can't be shit if that's the case.
Has he scored many goals for them?
I remember he's
only scored 2 goals in the under 18s.
He played against us at St Andrews.
And how did he look? Did he look like a good player from what you saw, or do you think he was a bit quiet that day?
I thought he looked alright, actually. I'm not sure, but I think he played up here. You know when Birmingham came up here?
Oh,
yeah.
Stadium of Light?
Yeah, I think he played that day.
Do you know what? I'd also have Troy Deeney at Sunderland as well. That'd be fucking good.
Right. So I'm using Transfer Market right now, right? And there's 2 players that are linked with our transfer rumours. Job is a 95% probability of coming in. He looks like he's having a medical assessment. So that is a good indicator that that's highly along the lines. And then there's another chap called Alexander Aravena, a Chilean youth who plays on the left wing, which I don't think we need. Jack Clark Roberts. I don't think we need a left winger. We need a striker, right? So maybe they're looking at him because he's very similar to Jewison Bennett, but Jewison Bennett has come in, got injured, and kind of, I don't know. He's just one of those players that are in that. We're frustrated that he hasn't been able to have a full season about it, right? So Job's a good shout. I think that's looking iron on, but nobody else is really looking like we're getting in yet. We're 2 minutes away from Barnsley Bolton finishing, by the way, and it's still 1-0 there. Cool. Cameron Jerome has come on for Bolton now. That's good. I think it's pronounced Joby or Jobby. Jobby. He will come on striker like the 15th minute or something when we played them. Yeah, but when we played them, we dominated Birmingham, right? So we'll see.
You can see where where that transfer has come from. I know Speakman's got good connections with the family, but
and he used to be at Birmingham, didn't he? He had a role at Birmingham.
Yeah, so did Mike Dodds as well.
So if that's the case, what if we just? If we got 2 more Birmingham players, I'd have Dion Sanderson and Troy Deeney up at Sunderland. to be honest.
Here's a bit of a
I know
weird
that much.
question, right? Here's a weird question. If we were playing like manager mode on FIFA, what would you say Sunderland's budget is for all of the gaps that we have? Would we spend, say, would you say it's like a 30 million summer budget, 10 million, 5 million? What do you think our summer budget is, and how many players do we need to get in? That I think is the right balance. If Job is the first player we're going for, that tells me that he's very integral to our next season's plans. So you don't throw away summer budget that quickly unless you know for certain that that person's going to perform for you.
Can I ask what is Sunderland? Do you know what the summer budget is?
We've got a billion.
Roughly.
We've got a billionaire's owner, so it could be anything.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't got majority ownership. He shares the purchasing of players and the assets with 3 other people at the minute. So until he's the full outright owner, it is going to be on a budget and an approval route. Would you rather have me?
Priorities.
Let's say it's a 20 to 25 million budget based on like TV money coming in.
Oh, in that case,
nothing else.
Sign Mishu.
Sign both of them.
Why not? Yeah, why not?
The why not is I think we need to recruit 3 strikers. Bellingham might be one of them, but we still need 2 more, and we need
strikers and Mishu for 25 mil.
I'm not too sure.
How much is Mishu worth?
Apparently 2.5 to 5.
All right, so that's about that's most. That's 8 million.
Yeah. That's still a lot of money for a championship team.
That is still a lot of money, but that still gives you 17 million to work with for 3 players.
No, so we need 3 strikers and potentially at least 2 more defenders, centre backs, out and out centre backs. But like Acacia says, you put out Joe Anderson, who we got from Everton, out on loan, so he gets first team football, like Elise did at Plymouth.
That's what Mowbray will be planning anyway. Send out Joe Anderson.
GS says probably is about 10 million all in all as well. So it's not as easy as you think. If it is the 25, it does make it. It's literally over double what I've said arbitrarily on a computer screen, I guess. But it's more about purchasing for the future rather than purchasing for right now, I think, for Sunderland.
Yeah, well, I've got a feeling, Lord, that this transfer was Job. I think it came from his appearance at the Stadium of Light on Saturday.
Oh yeah, because he turned up and just watched the game, right?
Yeah, he was sat next to KLD on Saturday.
Very strange. Like you said, they're family friends, so that could just be innocuous and fair, I guess.
He's been up here for a couple of games to watch a couple of games.
Is he going to be scouting for Birmingham City then? Or
might as well have the whole Birmingham team.
No, I'd take Chong and I'd take Bellingham and maybe Deeney, but everybody else, you can stay up.
I'd also take Dion Sanderson. As well as those players, I'd also take Dion Sanderson.
No, mate, I don't. He wasn't first team ready for us when we were in League One. Nah. I know it was good. He was good. He was half decent, but I don't think he's top half championship quality.
On Sanderson, I think he'll go back to Birmingham. Birmingham actually wants to buy him.
Because he was at Wolves, wasn't he? He's a Wolves player, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be an interesting summer window, I think, overall. Let's say we do have 5 million up for grabs. Who we're buying, and that'll be our closing question, I guess, for the stream, because we're approaching an hour. So 5 million. Who do you get? The entire player market is up for grabs. We'll go Jacob first. the pressure on you, mate.
So which player do we?
5 million's your budget. Any player in the world, 5 million. Who do you get? And whilst you're thinking about that, GS says, what do you reckon we'll do with Matete? Will Plymouth buy him, or do you think we should keep him? If he's not going to be included in our first team squad, he's not going to really be a backup player. I'd sell him on, get some money back in, and increase that 5 million budget that I've just made up on the spot. Who are you picking, mate? Who do you think you should go for?
I don't know. There's some players I'd like to buy, but if it's just one, I'm either going for Ballymumba or blooming Troy Deeney. You know what? I might go for Troy. I'll go for Deeney. I have Deeney in a red and white striped shirt.
How much? I'm going to just search, see if Troy Deeney is in that market, because I was just about to throw a name in the hat, but he's definitely. Troy Deeney's 34, mate. Troy Deeney's 34. He's worth 11 million at his peak. He's now currently worth 600 grand, apparently.
He's 34. I don't think he's going to leave Birmingham, though, is he? He's a Birmingham lad. He's playing for his home club. He ain't going to leave, is he?
He's going to retire at Birmingham, mate, if anything. Go on. Someone realistic, someone young, I guess.
All right, I'll go for Ballymumba. He's young. I know he were at us before, but the reason why he went, the reason why he went was Donald and Methane pissing around.
Plymouth. Do you think Plymouth will get rid of him or not?
Well, he's a Norwich player who was on loan at Plymouth, so he might go back to Norwich, and then why not go back to his own club? He's a Sunderland lad. He's from South Shields. So why?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, that's not a bad shout, you know. Yeah, that's all right.
What's the Norwich have not done much. Plymouth, see maybe why go back on loan to get him a good season, but we've done well. He's probably saying, "Oh, my home club's doing well. You know what? I want to go represent them and do what they did last season for the next season."
Okay, Ballymumba's a good show, mate. I'm liking that one.
Ballymumba. If Ballymumba's watching, he probably won't. Please come back. You don't need to be at Plymouth or Norwich. Sunderland's the best place for you.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of young lads brought up in our academy, JS has asked, would you get Madger again? And at the right price, yes.
Yes,
absolutely. I think he's now got international experience in the French league as well. Absolutely.
But he's not going to come back, though. That's the thing. He's not going to come back. As much as we want him, he probably ain't going to come back.
He's done stints at Bordeaux, Fulham, Sunderland, Bordeaux, Stoke. he's not snobby about which club he goes to. So the player I was going to throw in, but apparently is worth like triple my budget, is Brereton Diaz from Blackburn Rovers. I think he would have been a really good shout.
Getting moved on, actually. He's leaving Blackburn.
He is, but not at the 5 million budget. So I think he goes above what I think this question is. But I think if he wants if he's cheap enough, affordable enough, should I say, not cheap, then yeah, he could come to us. That would be I think that would be a good move. But Paul, I'll let you answer it while I'm thinking of another one apart from Brereton.
I agree with Ballymumba.
Yeah, good shout.
And there's another one I would take, because I know he's transfers up at Blackburn, and that for me would be Bradley Dack.
It's DAC, isn't it? I just need to make sure he is in that budget range. He's 29. 1.8
and
million.
He played under Mowbray. He played under Tony Mowbray, didn't he? So I think Mowbray will know his.
Mowbray signed him at Blackburn.
Oh,
So he can't be a shit player then, can he? Because I think he was in the Blackburn team that got, of course, promoted back to the.
that's not a bad shout, you know. We're just basically we're going to be former Blackpool players in our squad then. Dov, who do you think we should, if we've got this 5 million budget for anybody in the world? Who are you putting in? Who are you putting in for?
I don't have a clue.
You can pick any Premier League player you think's worth 5 million.
Oh God.
Who do you want to offload? Jordan Henderson?
Oh yes,
honestly,
please.
Honestly, you can have him.
Yeah, but he's not going to come to Championship, is he? An England player's not going to be playing in the Championship.
Don't know. He's...
Why would he end his career in the Championship? He'll want to end it in the Prem, won't he?
Potentially.
How much is James Milner's price? Because he's on free market at the minute.
Right, that's
Milner,
free then. It's James. If he's on free market, it's 0. So yeah, he's in budget.
He's in budget. You can have James. I think he's going to Madrid though. I would assume.
Yeah.
I know Firmino's likely to go to Madrid.
So
hang on, BRB.
No worries. So I'm going to go for another Brummie. I'm going to say Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey. He's at the Smoggies at the minute, but I can see him fitting into our current squad quite well. So he scores in the Championship. He's proven. He might not like us because of his Berardiz or what have you, but yeah, I'll get Pookie on a free, says Jess, and Brighton have signed James Milner. We've well ran over this hour normal time that I slot for this Mackem football show. So final statement around how you think we've performed over this season, boys. We'll do it back to front. So Jacob, Paul, Darth, then me, and then we'll wrap up the stream. So Jacob, your season as a whole in a quick statement.
Amazing.
That's the quickest you can have a statement. One word. Fair enough. Fair enough. I like it. Paul, season as a whole in a statement.
Good.
You've shortened it down to 4 letters. Fair enough. That's good. Darv, I think, is still on mute, so I think he might miss out on the opportunity. No, he's
that's
here.
right. I'm here. Sorry. I forgot I was muted still.
No worries. So, Sunderland's season in a short statement. We've had the short statement of amazing.
Excited for more.
Excited for more. Okay. 3 words. It's getting longer, and I'm going to continue the longer trend. The barometer's been set. I've enjoyed our return to the Championship. I'm proud of the lads, and like Dov says, I want to see more of this. So, yeah, on to the next season.
Just a better home record and better set pieces, you know.
Better injury record as well.
Oh, injury AFC. Injury AFC. You know, an embarrassment.
Hospital Football Club. Yeah, I think that's it. So even from me, go on. Even Accrington.
I think even Accrington Stanley have less injuries than us. You know. Look at them.
Everybody has to say that, by the way. Great while it lasted, says Dean. I think it's going to continue next season. Fingers crossed for a good 23-24 campaign. It's going to be weird saying that for a while. So that's it. Thank you very much for all of your time, all of your effort, saying hello on the chat, everything like that. Well, lads, see you on the next one.
See you in August.
See you later.
Press the button. Press the button. There you go. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.